Luang Prabang, Laos, 2015. I had just landed with a crumpled up shot list in my pocket and a couple days to turn that shot list into something special for the New York Times. The assignment was for their 36-hour series, part treasure hunt, part endurance test. Basically what to do, eat, experience in a place when the clock is already ticking. I've shot dozens of these assignments across Asia, and the rules are always the same. The writer hands you like the skeleton of the story, maybe the temples, the street food, the night markets, hidden corners, and you've got to sort of flesh it out with pictures that feel alive. Now, it's an extensive shot list, and I got to get as much as I can on it, but I also need to inject some of who I am as a photographer as well. And that comes with sort of trying to capture the mood of the place, the mood that the writer describes. But before we get started, for those of you that are new here, I'm Justin Mott. I've spent nearly 2 decades living and working in Vietnam as an editorial and commercial photographer with more than 100 assignments under my belt for the New York Times. This series on assignment is where I revisit those old assignments. I share some images, challenges that I faced, and little lessons that might help you on your own photography journey. If my channel sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. All right, so let's get back to Luang Prabang, a town that smells of incense in the morning and grilled meat, where the light feels like it's designed specifically for photographers, and where even under a deadline you can't help but slow down. The writer's list, as they usually are for these stories, is a mix of culture, food, nightlife, and everyday life. For me, it's almost the everyday life that matters the most. That's where I can be a little creative. So if the writer mentions it's a sleepy town or tranquil town, I'm looking for images that capture that. Maybe it's a man meditating. Maybe it's like what you'll see later, the monks quietly lighting candles when nobody's watching. That's sort of the game within the game for me on these type of assignments. Not just ticking boxes, but chasing images that breathe. So I arrived in the evening. I was tired, as I always am after I'm traveling, but I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous and anxious, but I'm excited. So I dropped my bag in my hotel. I went for a walk down the street. No agenda, no pressure. That's when I stumbled across these monks lighting candles, warm light, deep shadows, getting ready for a festival, and they just had incredible stillness to them. Sometimes and often the best images come when I'm not checking boxes, even on an assignment, when I'm just sort of experiencing things as a tourist, looking and just sort of waiting for things to happen. And these images were quite nice. They're quite tranquil. It was a great start to this assignment. That always gives me confidence too. Even as a professional photographer doing this for years, I always need those couple images that sort of like give me the confidence to say like, okay, I've got something worth publishing. So a little tip here when you travel is give yourself permission to wander without expectation. Even under a deadline for me as a photographer, a little uninstructed time can unlock images that you'll remember. And that's exactly what happened here. All right, so the next morning, I always get up for sunrise. Before sunrise, sunrise in Luang Prabang means one thing, the monk procession. Tourists line the main street with cameras ready, eager to capture that iconic shot of the saffron robes and the alms bowls. And I took those pictures too. I have to sort of balance that like touristy shot or tourist location, but I need to take it in a more creative way. So for me, that was maybe including the other photographers in there, but also it meant like getting that shot, getting that location, but looking for something a little deeper, looking for something more, looking for something those photographers weren't getting. And so I followed the monks off the main road, away from the tourists, when they go around that back alley when no one's watching, back to their pagoda. That's where the real story was. Locals waiting quietly, the procession ending not as a spectacle, but as a ritual. And so the little tip here is maybe out of habit you'll get the obvious shot, but then go a step further. And that might be literally going more steps further, or it might just be looking a little bit deeper, or trying a different perspective. Follow that thread and work a little harder until you see something others aren't willing to chase. Next, I went to this craft shop that was on the outskirts of the city. I had to rent a motorbike and drive out there. And this place really stood out to me. I've been back there several times since then, but just because I just love the shop and I love what they make. I still have a lot of like rugs and scarves from this place. So it's a little boutique weaving shop on the outskirts of town, hand-woven scarves, rugs, table runners, beautiful, honest craft. I photographed it for like a couple hours, the details, the people working there, people coming in and shopping at the location. But I also left there with like spending half of my assignment money on these things. And there's another little small tip in here when you travel, when you're shooting, even as an amateur photographer. Experience the place as more than a photographer, something I can be guilty of not doing. Buy the scarf, taste the food, sit in the cafe. When you immerse yourself, you see things differently. You stop hunting, and the pictures often come to you. As far as food and atmosphere goes, some of these 36-hour stories are more straightforward. A particular restaurant or a couple restaurants, a dish the writer mentioned, a drink they mentioned. Back then, it was quite different. Like these days, photographing your dinner is second nature for a lot of people with their phones. But back then, it felt odd. I looked odd, pulling out a camera at a quiet table, documenting my plate of noodles or whatever it is. It was quite odd, and often not eating it because I'm a vegetarian. Often the dishes the writer would talk about weren't vegetarian, so I'd order food photograph it, and then just leave. So I must have looked quite odd. Now that would be quite normal. And then part of the assignment, the fun part for me is capturing the overall mood of the story, the mood of the location, the way the writer describes it. So he mentions the river there. I need to find a cool image there that shows that. It shows the mood and captures the river. So these are the kind of shots I try to go and shoot in good light with no direction, no specifics. I just sort of go to the location, the main street they mentioned, the part of town they mentioned, and I just look for things. I wander and I look and I wait. And so I went at sunset and there was a man. It was great. It was a man meditating, waist deep in the water, the light breaking across the surface. He was starting to get silhouetted in the water. And I approached quietly. I sort of have this like vibe with people. He was a foreigner and I asked permission just quickly. I didn't want to interrupt him and he nodded. That's an important part of working respectfully. Like people always say like, don't ask, just shoot. Like I like to ask. And actually, when I do ask is when I actually get more meaningful pictures, because oftentimes people don't ask, so they want to get out of there really quickly, so they're rushed. When you're rushed, you're not getting good images. Once I asked and had his permission, then I can not just get like that hip shot, that sloppy composition shot, that shot where I'm not thinking things through thoroughly. When I ask, I've broken the ice. And oftentimes, if you have a good aura about you, and I explain things quickly, what I'm doing, like nothing set up, don't worry about me, but I'm doing this story for the New York Times. Not always, but I'm just saying this is like another take on this that people forget. Like, I see people do that in street photography. Like someone working at a shop, they want a portrait of them, they just do it really quick from the hip and it's like a crap shot. But when I talk to people and I have their permission and they're comfortable and I'm comfortable, then I can really work it. Then I can have time to slow down and get pictures that I want. One thing I regret, but I figured I'd talk about it, I'm not going to show images because I don't feel great about it, was an elephant sanctuary. At the time, it sounded harmless, even noble, but when I arrived, it was a place offering elephant rides. And, now I know better. The pictures made me feel uneasy. It makes me feel uneasy even looking at them now. Looking back, I wouldn't take that assignment again, or I wouldn't photograph that part, or I'd voice my opinion with my editor. I didn't feel as confident back then. I always felt like I was lucky to be on assignment. I mean, I am, but I always felt like I just had to like follow and not lead. Now I would feel strongly about telling the editor like, hey, this isn't a place we should put on this list, because I don't believe in that kind of tourism. I think they would agree now too. I think things have changed with that, and anyway, I don't feel great about it, but I figured I'd mention it. But that's just another part about being a working photographer. You'll face ethical lines. Sometimes, like for me, I crossed it before I knew that it was even there. The important thing is to learn and do better next time, or at least that's what's important to me. Looking at these images now, years later, it makes me want to book a weekend back in Laos. I haven't been in several years. I'm curious as to how it's changed. I want to go back and take more pictures, and maybe I'll take you guys along with me. The pictures still work on me, and that's how I know I did their job. Like, makes me want to go there, so I've inspired myself. That sounds cocky, but it is true. I actually am thinking about, it's only like a couple hours to go there, and it's pretty cheap, so I am thinking about after this, talking to my wife, booking a flight there and going for a long weekend. I'll end with a few of my favorites here from that assignment. If you want to see the full link, what the New York Times chose, not always the same images or same favorite images that I chose, but you can check that out. I'll put a link in the description box below. Thank you guys for joining me down this trip down memory lane. If you took something away, maybe about chasing the story, beyond the obvious, respecting your subjects, or simply slowing down, let me know in the comments section. If you have questions, I'm quite active in there, so ask away. If you want more of these behind the assignment stories, encourage me with positive feedback in the comments section. Before you go, don't forget to check out my online store. I've got portfolio reviews. I've got my Central Vietnam Photography Workshop in December, 2 slots left. Can't make it? Then I do offer private customizable workshops here in Vietnam and all over the world. Just let me know. We'll put together a package for you. I have online portfolio reviews, online open Q&A, and I do have my long-term mentorship program for those of you that really want to dive in and want help with your photography. You can go 1 month only or go month to month. All that and more at AskMott.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.